Rochester's mayor is still pushing for the state to take over the Rochester City School District. This is not a new concept for some school districts in New Jersey. Several of them have been run by the state for decades. It's important to keep in mind the New Jersey education system is slightly different than New York's. Still, Kayla Green went to Camden, New Jersey, and found out what happens when the state comes in.
The Camden City School District had been struggling for years. Graduation rates were at 10% in 2011. Student proficiency on state exams was at less than 1%. There were 13 superintendents in 20 years. 25 of the 27 schools in the district were in the bottom 3% of the state. Onome Pela Amore is the chief operating officer for the district. She told me the district couldn't have survived without a takeover.
So I do think there's a world where state takeover is necessary, particularly when a district is not making progress, it's not living up to the promises and the services that it says it's going to provide to its citizens and to its children. And so I do think that at that point, yes, it's necessary to ensure that there are parameters in place to ensure those things happen. But if and when state takeover is taken away and or doesn't happen as a result, I do think that it is a disservice, particularly for the kids.
So what does a state takeover look like in New Jersey? The state picks a new superintendent and the school board is stripped of its voting rights. Pela Amore says teachers and students don't see any difference in the classroom.
I think what changes day to day is how, from a district perspective, how we manage our finances, how we recruit our teachers, how we decide what we're going to do in the long term.
Getting the parents of the Camden district to accept the takeover wasn't easy. Felicia Reyes Morton was a board member until last year. She says part of the problem with the disconnect was misinformation.
A parent, would be excited for their child getting honor roll, A's and B's, or all A's, not realizing that your child received all A's in a school that's less than 1% proficiency.
For many, this was a hard realization to come to.
When you talk about the most violent city in the U.S. and the most poorest city in the U.S., there's some educational challenges that we had also. And when you're a school board member in a leadership position and you have children of your own in the system, and you're raising a family, and you know your neighbors so well, and the hard work that they do to make sure that they're providing quality of life for their families, and you come to those realizations. I mean, it's just so surreal.
As we said, New Jersey's law is different than New York's when it comes to state takeover. In New Jersey, if a district doesn't rank high enough in 5 different categories, the state automatically applies to take them over.
And you were just telling me that a lot of the people you talked to were in support of the takeover. This is in New Jersey. So you saw what happened in that state. What could happen here?
So in New Jersey, the state chooses a new superintendent and the board loses their voting rights. So if this happened here in Rochester, it would flip. The state would choose the new school board. We wouldn't automatically lose our superintendent like they did in Camden.
And then it would go from there.
Yes.
All right, Kayla Green, thank you for that report. We'll show you the progress Camden's made in part 2 of this story tonight on News 8 at 11. Kayla, thank you again.